Alrighty, hey guys, so this is a full guide to the new Tidefall update. I'll be going over what we know as of now and all of the new stuff added in the update, including the new rods, the obelisks and how you can solve them, the fish hunts, and the new locations. Alright, starting with the new locations, as shown in the update log, we got 5 of them. So the first one is the Coral Bastion, the second one is the Sunken Reliquary, the third one is the Tidefall, the main area. We got the Crowned Ruins, and then we got the Tidefall Castle. Of course, there's many more sub areas in between, but these are the ones you should keep note of because each of these have an obelisk that is tied to them, which is needed for one of the rods, I'm assuming. So keep that in mind. And here I'll be showing you the location of each of these and where their obelisks are. Alrighty, so first to get to Tidefall, you have to go through the underwater opening. So that is going to be in between Mushgrove and Ancient Isle as marked on the map. So you're going to take your boat and then drive over here. Here we go. And you're going to see a bunch of boats clustered over here. And then on the big one right next to the diver with the rowboat, there's going to be 2 divers on it. Talk to the one in the middle. So they're going to tell you that they lost one of their divers down there and they're going to need to go down and retrieve them. So just go to where the footage is showing right now. That's where the diver's going to be sitting on the rocks. So you're going to have to hold down E to collect them and then swim all the way back up before you die. This is why I recommend you to get the mermaid bubble, the super diver, and the tidebreaker so you don't drown. Of course, there's a new pressure mechanic that's separate to oxygen. So on top of oxygen, you have to make sure that the pressure doesn't crush you before you return to the surface. So after that, you guys go back to the ship you talked to the guy on, and then you hold down E to place the diver, and then it should give you a pop-up saying Abyssal Tonic Unlocked. And I'll be showing you what that is right in a moment. So after you did the Lost Diver quest, just take your tidebreaker, and this time instead of holding onto the rocks, just go past the submarine through the crack until you see a little waterfall and just swim through it, and then here you are. You're in Tidefall now. There should be a really cool animation that plays. And then what we're looking for over here is the main shop with the new Sunken Appraiser and a bunch of new stuff. So you're going to see the Fallen Rod, which is only going to cost 175,000 credits. The Withered Spear, that's going to require 100% bestiary completion for the main Tidefall area. And of course, the Dripstone Totem, which summons a Dripstone event in your server in one of the new areas that I'll be showing right now. So right now, we're in the main Tidefall area, and the obelisk for this area is going to be right to the right of the shop, as you can see here. And basically what you need to do for each of these obelisks is you need to get the exotic fish of each of the bestiaries. So for like the Crowned Ruins, you're going to need to get that exotic, and you're going to have to return it to the obelisk after you get it. And as far as I know, most of these exotics are exclusive to hunts, and these hunts are really hard to spawn, so good luck with that. So moving on, the next area we're going to be taking a look at is the Coral Bastion. There's 2 things of note here. The first is the crab cage, which is going to cost you 1,500 credits each, and you could buy a new coral rod for 30,000 credits, but you're going to need 50% bestiary completion to buy it. And the obelisk for this is going to be right outside the entrance, right over here. It's going to be this teal one. One thing of note about the Coral Bastion is that many of the fishes in the bestiary requires you to spearfish. So either go complete other bestiaries in Tidefall and get the new spears, or go to Lost Jungles and buy one of the older ones. And yeah, that's it for this one. So next up, we have the Sunken Repository. This is where the new permanent rod upgrade system is going to be. So as you can see in the back over here, we have this little portal. And there's going to be 3 pedestals where you need to place the 3 different essences. And the way you're going to get those is from the Dripstone event, and then it's going to drop Dripstone onto the map, which you can mine for the essences. This event is very rare unless you buy the 35 million credit totem, so I wish you luck on that. And afterwards, you're going to be able to talk to the fairy lady, as you can see over here. And then she's going to give you the prompt to upgrade your rod that you're wearing. Alrighty, and the obelisk for this is going to be similar to the coral. It's going to be right outside of the entrance to the area. It's this purple one over here, you can see. And yeah, that's it. Moving on to the next one. So the next major area we have is actually a 2-in-1. It's going to be the collapsed ruins and the crowned ruins. So just come over here, south of the shop, hop up these rocks, and voila, here you are. So you're just going to walk straight through collapsed ruins. This does have its own bestiary, but I'm pretty sure it does not have its own obelisk. And over here, you're going to see this gold obelisk. This is actually for the area next to it, which is going to be the crowned ruins. So for the crowned ruins, you're just going to walk through all the way through collapsed ruins and go through the golden gates, and here you are. So in this area, you could buy a new spear, the royal spear, for 3.275 mil, and you're going to require 100% bestiary completion for that. And right next to the spear, you could buy this new crab cage for 25,000 credits. Alrighty, moving on to the last area with the obelisk. It's going to be the Tidefall Castle area. This place has a giant gate, and the way you're going to open that is by completing every other obelisk in the Tidefall area. And the final obelisk in the thing, as of now, is going to be right outside the Tidefall Castle, so I am assuming it's corresponding to this area, but I am not completely sure. And if there's any errors, I'll update you guys in the comment section, in the pinned comment. So that's going to be it for the areas. And now we're going to move on to the craftable rods and the purchasable rods. Alrighty, so excluding the fallen rod and the coral rod, which I've mentioned already, there's going to be a Thalasser's Ruin that you can buy. I am not completely sure on how you get that as of now when this video is being edited. But as mentioned before, you could check the pinned comment for any updates. And this is going to be a permanent update, so you're going to have plenty of time to figure it out and get all of these cool rods. So moving on to the 4 Ancient Isle rods, we are going to have the Dead Man's Rod, which is going to require the Dead Man's Tentacle, Dead Man's Treasure, and Dead Man's Wood. We're going to need the Tide Mortar, which is going to need the Tide Mortar's Head, which is bought from the Tidefall shop. Iron Chunk, which is found in the mine shaft. We got Tide Essence, which is probably going to be obtained for fishing or a quest. Moonstone, which is from the Dreaded Meteors. Next, we got the Requiem, which is going to have Requi's Essence, which is probably going to be from quest or fishing. We're going to have Requiem Core, which is probably going to be from quest or fishing. And Awakened Omethal, which is a fish that requires a hunt, so spam sundials for that. And the last one we have is Anchor and Chill, which is going to require 1 anchor and 10 scrap metal. Scrap metal is from the depths using trash bait, and the anchor I am not sure about, but it's probably a quest or a fish. So that's going to be it for the crafting, and let's take a look at the stats. So first, for the Anchor and Chill rod, we got -100% lure speed, 50% luck, 0.5% control, 100% resilience, and really high max kg. So this means that it's going to be a big control bar, so it's going to work like the cinder block rod, and just going to have a big bar, and it's going to have the fish not moving at all, but it's going to take a long time to hook a fish. Requiem is going to work similarly to like a mid-game rod, but I don't know what the passive is, so I can't be saying anything for sure. Tide Mortar over here, it looks like it's going to have 50% lure speed, 250% luck, 0.4 control, but 0% resilience. So I'm assuming this is going to go well with like the Oni enchants like Rage and Peppermint if you have the Festive Relics, because this has high control, high luck, pretty good lure speed, but has no resilience. And then lastly, we have the Dead Man's Rod, which has 90% lure speed, 300% luck, 0 control, 0 resilience. So I'm assuming this is going to be like a slightly worse version of the Tryhard Rod, because Tryhard Rod has 999% luck, but it has way less control and even worse resilience. So yeah, these rods are pretty interesting, and I can't wait to get them. So that is going to be about it for this video. As always, check the pinned comment for any updates. Thank you, and feel free to like and subscribe so I can get the Fisch content creator role, so I could get leaks early and stuff. So yeah, thanks so much. Peace out.